welcome to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be doing something a little different. I've got the 48 pack of the Art Echo oil pastels. I'm going to be doing a speed paint. Well, I'm going to be using oil pastels and doing a normal drawing, but for y'all it'll be a speed paint. I got a comment recommending something a little different for my channel, so we're going to be doing that today. I do have COVID. I'm on the tail end of it. The audio might sound different on the voiceover because it was a couple days ago. I was really trying to get this video out on time. But, I mean, I've barely been able to get out of bed or the couch. So, I do apologize, but I have been really sick. The previous week's video, I mentioned that I wasn't sure if it was allergies or a cold. And then it hit me like a truck like the next day. And I was like, something's wrong. So I went in and got checked and I have COVID. So we are just going to get into this. And we're going to let voiceover Megan take over from here while I draw. A viewer DD commented on my last video asking for a holiday gift guide. So I figured I'd give it a go. As you can see, this is a little different than most of the gift guide videos that we've all seen on this platform, because as an art channel, you're probably here to see art as well as to hear about it, not just one or the other. So I did the voiceover over the speed paint. That being said, I've separated this video into some separate categories. We have the child artist, the beginner artist, the advanced artist, and the ADHD artist that has everything and collects hobbies like Pokemon cards. I myself fall into this category. So for the child artist, Crayola craft kits with a more art than craft leading premise is always a win for the younger kids. But I would recommend that you get the older craft kits. When the quality was a bit better, you can find the kits like this at thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, online resellers, stuff like that. I have a few videos on my channel of some examples of these kits. Graphite pencils are also a golden option. Now, hear me out. I'm talking with slightly older children that may have had a little bit more experience coloring with on the lines and stuff. You can get them just about any brand, in my opinion. I haven't noticed a significant enough difference, let alone for a child, between brands, because we're talking about sketch pencils, not the dollar store HB pencil pack or the 50-cent pack of regular HB pencils during back to school season. The difference is that sketch pencils come in grades from hard to soft. This causes a difference of light to dark shades. The reason I specifically recommend these is to teach them about value in shading rather than just color matching. Acrylic paint pens or paint markers are also a fun option. It's less mess for the adults, easier for the kids to get a solid color down, and I can promise you a pack of these, a few items like shoes or toys that are like plain or just sprayed down with a base coat of something, and those kids will be busy for hours and hours just customizing their own stuff. They're gonna love that. With that being said, I would not recommend Posca brand, just due to both price and the simple fact that Posca has soft nibs. So a kid beating them up just to pump the paint out or coloring really rough will fray them really quickly. You're going to want like the plastic nibs. You can find plenty of brands online, speaking of brands, but I personally haven't tried enough to tell you which brand to get. Ultimately though, if your kid or the child in your life that you're shopping for this year has a preferred material or a media that they gravitate to, my best advice is to just put the money you probably planned to put into the variety pack of art supplies and the fancy packaging towards upgrading the specific supply they love. Most of these variety packs are filled with very low quality materials that will frustrate them so fast. That being said, sometimes you get lucky with them. Normally you don't. I do still have the colored pencils from the variety pack when I was a kid, but that was only one of the variety packs. My parents just lucked out. Don't assume it's going to be a good one. So, for instance, they use Crayola colored pencils 4 days out of the week. Shell out for a decent pack of Prismacolor pencils. They will be so happy with that. If they want to play with other supplies, they still have the other Crayola or Crazy Art or whatever. Speaking of Crazy Art, don't get Crazy Art. Crazy Art is ridiculous. It's horrible. Even as a kid, I remember hating the Crazy Art crayons. Don't do it. Don't put them through that. If you love them, don't put them through that. But bonus points. If you get them Shrinky Dinks, they can use most medias on them. You can bake them to make little charms or magnets. Most people or most brands, because Shrinky Dink is a brand, but it's kind of like Kleenex. It's a brand that took over the product as a whole. So you don't necessarily need to look up Shrinky Dinks and only get the ones that say Shrinky Dinks. It's just plastic melty paper, basically. Well, not paper. It's a sheet of plastic. I'm going off on a tangent. But most of them recommend that you do little charms or something. A lot of them come with a hole punch. You don't have to hole punch it, though. If you want, you can just do whatever shape you want, whatever picture you want, cut it out, and glue a magnet on the back with hot glue or something like that. Or even just those magnetic tapes. I think that would be more child-friendly. Honestly, they'll be fun for all ages, though. I did make an Amazon wish list to go with this video. You can copy and paste the examples on there in all the categories. I have a little bit in every category, I think, if I remember correctly. But I didn't do everything that I specifically recommend because although I don't expect anybody to get me anything from there, it is a good way to support the channel if you would like to support the channel. And if anybody does get me anything on there, I didn't want to have stuff that I personally wouldn't use for the channel. So I didn't put everything on there. I didn't want somebody to watch half the video or a family member to go in for it for Christmas and see something that I wouldn't actually use and purchase it for me and then waste their money. So I do have some examples in each of the categories, and then it's mostly stuff from the last category, which is more me. If you don't want to or can't afford to, though, a like, a subscribe, a comment, sharing it with friends and family are also fantastic and free ways to support the channel. Now, for your beginner artists, the middle schooler that never really stopped doodling, or the adult that just got back into it, drawing models are a great option. You know, the little wooden man that poses, or the hand that goes along the same vein that you find at any craft store, and a lot of people do silly poses with at the craft store. Especially if they like drawing portraits or original characters. Paint cups. They may seem mundane or boring even. I normally even use old candle jars, but it can be frustrating at times. Different companies offer multitudes of different textures and materials at the bottom, so you can swirl your brush against it and get all that excess paint off the brush. At this point in their journey, I'd recommend the same advice that I gave for the kids as well. What's their favorite art supply? Upgrade it. And from this category onward, find out what they use the most or what they might be low on and restock the supply or get them more colors of what they already like. I have a few examples of this in the wish list as well. For the advanced or professional artist in your life, workable fixatives and sealants are a great option, especially UV resistant sealants. If they like fugitive colors that they don't use because of the inevitable UV fading, it's perfect for them. You can use these with most medias, and some are even sold for specific medias if your artist only works with one type of material. Along that line, Find out what material they use and get them accessories and mediums to go with that. For example, most paint types are compatible with mediums to make matte paint glossy, or vice versa. Or add shimmer, thicken, or thin out the paint even. You can also find out what material they love and introduce them to something similar, like watercolor painters might like trying out gouache paint. Oil pastel artists may like oil paint sticks, or so on. Now, last but not least, the artist that has everything and collects hobbies like your grandma collects tchotchkes. Adult craft kits are a solid option to open them up to a whole new option of art supplies that they don't already have, and it has whatever they need to start out. They would also likely love hand making their own supplies. So consider pigment powders or mica powders for metallics. You can get a molding kit along with the powders and a binder of whatever material they like most. Watercolor binder, oil paint binder, clear acrylic base, and wax for crayons or pastels are a few options. I know this one sounds strange, but I'm going back to the Shrinky Dink option from the kids category. I know, but hear me out. Like I said earlier, you can use most media on it. It'll be a blast from the past and allow them to have a fun, wholesome project. I myself loved them as a kid, and now with more practice, I'm a better artist, and it just sounds fun. And like I said, you can use it with most media. Last but not least, obscure supplies they may have never heard of. In high school art class, we worked with scratchboard paper, and I loved it. Essentially what it is it's a glossy white paper, sometimes with a firm backing, and always with a matte black layer on top that you're meant to scratch away just to create a whole different work of art. And don't forget, for any of the categories here, you can always also get a gift card if you're unsure, whether that be Amazon for literally anything, including art supplies, Michael's, Blick, Joann's isn't really a thing anymore, Hobby Lobby, anything like that. You can get a gift card for pretty much any store. So if you're still unsure or anxious about anything like that, just get a gift card. It's a win, always. It's a little less personal, but it's still a win. No matter what you get, though, I'm sure your artist will just be happy to be supported in their journey. I hope you liked my ideas and the art we created today using the Art Echo oil pastels that were actually gifted to me and also came from Amazon. I know the holiday seasons are stressful and chaotic for everybody, so hopefully this list and some ideas as well as the Amazon list are helpful to y'all. And like I said, if you're still unsure, just get a gift card. But if that was the case, I don't know why you bothered doing the research. But, if I wasn't specific enough or anything like that, it's always an option. But like I said, holidays are always chaotic. Don't overthink it. I'm sure they'll love whatever. And I hope this made the season a little less chaotic for you. And for my artists in the comments, just pop down in the comments and let me know what you're wanting for Christmas this year as far as art supplies go or media or anything like that. I'm just curious. Might give me some ideas too for stuff I can work with on the channel. So if you liked this video and you like my art, hopefully you like both. Don't forget, actually, hang on. So if you like this video and you like my art, hopefully you like both. Don't forget to like and subscribe like I said earlier. And don't forget to stay artsy. Bye guys!